Hi BookTube, it's Amy, and it is of course time for another Friday Reads. And I don't have a lot to talk about this week, actually. I'm just going to hold up the same book that I was reading in my last Friday Reads. I can't really say though that the Trollope is slow going. It's slow going in the sense that I haven't finished it yet, but it's not slow going in the sense that when I pick it up, it's slow going. It's slow going because I haven't read a lot this past week. I've been up to other things, and to be honest, I've been in a bit of a Netflix mood, so I've been doing that after work instead of reading. But I am just about 400 pages in, and I will probably finish this book this coming weekend, as it is the Labor Day long weekend. So I get the Monday off as well, so a nice long weekend. Trying to save money, so I won't be going out a whole lot. That's my new goal in September, not to eat out at all unless I'm with another person. And even then, I'm going to try to spend as little as possible. But yeah, so I'm still enjoying the Trollope, although I just spoiled the Eustace Diamonds for myself, because I just read a passage where Trollope, as the author, is like, reader, you might remember this, and then he gives a quick recap of what I assume are events from that novel. And Trollope gets diverted by a lot of other characters in this volume. Phineas Finn actually plays a relatively minor role, especially in the last few hundred pages. I mean, he is still the main character, but we are seeing a lot of other characters, other people. And I've just gotten to the part where, this isn't a spoiler because it's on the back of the book, I've just gotten to the part where he's been accused of murder. Another parliamentarian has been murdered, and as he was seen to quarrel with this man the evening before, he is supposed to be the killer. And there's this funny line here on page 404. And the chapter is called What the Lords and Commons Said About the Murder. When the House met on that Thursday at 4 o'clock, everybody was talking about the murder, and certainly 4/5 of the members had made up their minds that Phineas Finn was the murderer. To have known a murdered man is something, but to have been intimate with a murderer is certainly much more. And so it seems almost as though people are more willing to believe that he's the murderer because it gives them a note of distinction, or at least a feeling of importance to have known a murderer. But we, of course, assume that he's not the murderer, because that would be a little bit bizarre coming this far into a series. But I'm still quite enjoying it, and as I said, I will finish it this weekend. If you don't know what this novel is about, it is about a young man by the name of Phineas Finn who goes off and gets himself elected to Parliament. Very attractive man, takes in a lot of women, not in a physical sense, but in the sense that he wins their hearts. We have Lady Laura, who is falling into all sorts of trouble in this novel. And we have, of course, Violet, who has married. And we have him just briefly mentioning his dead wife. It's a little bit odd that he doesn't mention his dead wife more often. And we have a couple of new women who are catching his eye, or rather, he is catching their eyes. But yeah. And then I don't know whether I'm going to read this one immediately, but I'm going to show it to you because it arrived in the mail yesterday. And that is W. Somerset Maugham's A Writer's Notebook. And it's this great paperback that's in great condition. And it says on the back that Maugham began keeping a notebook as a storehouse of materials for future use and nothing else. In the year 1892, when he was 18, he continued the practice throughout his long creative life. So it collects together 15 manuscript volumes, omitting only the traveler's impressions of China published separately, and some other material that Maugham considered to be of no interest, providing a unique and remarkable exploration of the mind of one of this century's finest writers. So this obviously is a careful selection of what he chose to publish, or what was chosen to be published, because this tiny volume could of course not be his entire creative life, and we do bounce quite quickly forward in time. So it starts in 1892, and then we're in 1896, and then in 1900, and 1901, and 1908. So I think it'll be interesting to see not only, inspiration for his novels, but also I imagine there are, indications as to his own life, where he was at in his creative journey, where he was at physically, so to speak, in terms of where he was living at the time, that will come up in this book. I don't know whether it's going to be easy reading or whether it's going to be clunky and difficult to get through, but it certainly will be an interesting one. So there's quite a long preface here. It says he was inspired by the journal of Jules Renard. Apparently Renard was an author who wrote 3 or 4 one-act plays, which were neither very good nor very bad. He wrote several novels, but he also kept a journal. The novels are of no great consequence, but his notebook, his journal, was worth looking at, says Maugham in this preface. Yeah, he says, "My notebooks amounted to 15 stoutish volumes, but by omitting so much that I have above described, I have reduced them to no longer than many a novel. I hope the reader will accept this as a sufficient excuse for its publication." And we begin in 1892, when he says, "In this year I entered the medical school of St. Thomas's Hospital." And it's, single lines, musings, perhaps bits and pieces that he may have put into novels later on. 1900, when a woman of 40 tells a man that she's old enough to be his mother, his only safety is an immediate flight. She'll either marry him or drag him through the divorce court. That little bit actually sounds familiar. I think I may have come across that somewhere. But not a whole lot to share this week. Going to finish the Trollope. Might read a little bit of Writer's Notebook, might not. I'm not sure what else I want to read, but I shall decide. Let me know in the comments what you're up to this long weekend and what you're reading at the moment.